week on Game, Frags becomes one with the shadows as we discover Dishonored. We chat with the man behind Forza Horizon. And it's a look ahead in time. Titles soon to hit the gaming stratosphere. Stay with us on Game. What's up and welcome to Game, guys. A new week brings a new wave of digital delights on your one-stop gaming show. And I'm proud to say that we've got the usual plethora of non-stop action with a couple of groundbreaking trailers, an inside look at a game that I can't wait to get my hands on, and of course, we'll be crossing over to Frags for his take on the latest from Bethesda. But before we do that, it's time to get schooled. A look at what's shaking up in the digital world in the headlines. An unlimited supply of free EA games. That's what some early birds got when they logged in to claim a code on the online digital distribution store Origin. As a token of thanks for completing an online survey, EA sent users of their store a coupon good for one free game. Now, the code allowed recipients to download a game off the store, but gamers quickly discovered that due to a security fault, the same code could be used to download as many titles as you wanted. And quick to pick up on this, users of the online community Reddit began spreading the code like digital wildfire, leading to thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of free games being claimed in an 18-hour period. Now, the code has since been retired, but not before titles like Dead Space, Burnout Paradise, SimCity 4, and Mass Effect managed to fill the hard drives of thousands of eager gamers. Now, the surprising thing is that rather than punish all the exploiters, EA are making good on every single one of the glitched coupons, saying the company would honor all sales made with the coupons and that they hope the fans enjoy their new games. Nice move, EA, and just in time for the holidays too. Next up, from happy hard drives, we take to the hard courts with EA's main competitor in the b-ball market. NBA 2K13 has hit the ground running, flying off store shelves and outselling its previous record by a whopping 49%. Now, a lot of the reason for this is because for the last couple of years, EA have been conspicuously missing from the scene, with 2K's main rival on the courts, NBA Live, cancelled for the third year in a row. On the other hand, 2K has gone from strength to strength, with this year's release even featuring enhancements to such small things as shoes. With more pumped up kicks than ever before, the game even comes with its very own in-game shoe editor, allowing you to not only choose materials, but also have them custom made in real life thanks to the Nike ID shoe store, letting you wear your virtual shoes in real life. Now, if only that worked for the body shape creator. I could do with a few more muscly bits, I reckon. And finally, fans looking for a spoiler-free Halo 4 experience may just want to avoid searching for the game till it's released. Yep, Microsoft's prized holiday baby, and its most anticipated title this year has been leaked, with footage of the game, including sensitive details about the ending, already available online. What's more, copies of the full game have also appeared on several online file-sharing sites weeks before the game's scheduled launch on November the 6th. Now, the source of the leak is still unconfirmed, but it appears that the boys at Redmond aren't too pleased about this and have come out swinging their bat hammers like Thor and permanently banning anyone caught playing a leaked copy from the Xbox Live network. Halo 4 is not the only game to have suffered a case of premature rejection. Earlier this year, Resident Evil 6 was also hit by pirates and leaked a full month ahead of its October release date. With the videos already up online, it's hard to resist the temptation to dig into more Halo. But you know what? As someone who likes to be surprised, I'm good to hold out a little longer for my copy of Halo 4. And I'm sure it'll be worth the wait. But what we don't have to wait any longer for is Frags, who's hiding in the shadows, waiting to share his sneaky stealth side in this week's review.
Hey, what's up? Frags here, and in this week's Game and Review, it's off to the rat-infested city of Dunwall as we step into the shoes of an assassin in Dishonored. a stealth game which combines aspects of first-person shooting, magic making, and melee combat. You play Corvo Attano, bodyguard to the Empress and all-round top lad.
Corvo, 2 days early.
But conspiracy is afoot on ye old streets, as you soon find out, as your charge meets the pointy end of a blade, leaving poor Corvo to rot in prison.
He's killed the Empress. I'll see you beheaded for this, Corvo.
Framed for a murder he did not commit.
You were in the wrong place at the right time. And someone has to take the fall.
Pretty standard video game fare so far, but the thing really starts to get interesting for our hero when a group of loyalists help in your escape. And so begins a journey as you look to clear your name, reclaim the island, and return the throne to its rightful heir.
Corvo, I'm Admiral Havelock, a true servant of the Empire, like you. We need your skills, your ability to fight, and in helping us, we're going to help you destroy the men who murdered the Empress.
Now, on the surface, while Dishonored may share quite a few similarities with many of today's top shooting games, the open-ended nature of the stealth gameplay is really what sets this game apart. If you've ever picked up a copy of Metal Gear Solid or any of the stealth classics like Thief or Splinter Cell, you'll know that the bulk of the time spent in these games will be lurking in the shadows as you slowly work out the best way past a given obstacle. And while the same holds true for Dishonored, unlike most purely stealth games, staying hidden is not the only way to approach a situation. Right off the bat, you've got an assortment of weapons at your disposal, from lethal crossbows to grenades. And even down to my favorite, spring razors, turning an unsuspecting enemy's legs into a pulpy mush. Ew. On top of that, you've also got a list of 10 magic spells at your fingertips. Things like Blink, which let you warp short distances, or Dark Vision, which lets you see your enemies through walls. There's a spell which slows down time, and even one which lets you take over the body of a small animal. And what this allows for is literally dozens of ways to go about your mischief making. Another thing I really liked was the general environment, and even more than that, the fluidity in which you get to explore it. Inspired in large by Victorian-era retrofuturism, the world painted by Dishonored is believable and seems lived in, as bit by bit you slowly use your innate ability for acrobatics to navigate your surroundings. And what's cool is that the controls never really get in the way, almost like you're playing a steampunk-inspired Mirror's Edge. It's fast and fluid, which makes the whole experience of moving around feel pretty awesome. Now, on the flip side, because of the open-ended nature in which the game unfolds, and the fact that there's never really a right or a wrong way to approach a situation, the tension that you get from a lot of stealth games is largely missing in Dishonored. Sure, enemies will learn of your location and even attack you en masse, but the problem here is that with Corvo packing so much heat, none of your enemies even pose a threat.
Oh, my dear. I knew you'd help me with those ill-mannered holes.
Also, some of the core gameplay concepts just don't make sense. Like the fact that enemies look right through you just because you're leaning out of a corner to spy on them. But hey, if you can believe that you can blend in while being the only person on a street in a blinding white assassin's cloak, then stuff like that probably won't matter to you so much. You know, in the end, Dishonored really feels like a successful mix of many gaming themes that we've seen over the last few years, combining elements of action, exploration, and stealth into a tight first-person experience. It's just not the most focused of titles, and unless you're the kind of gamer who enjoys setting self-imposed rules, like go through the game without killing or alerting any of the guards, then Dishonored can feel at times a little too simple, even at the more advanced difficulty settings. However, the strengths in this case far outweigh its shortcomings, and if you're looking for a solid action title with more options to go about your murderous ways than a constant stream of headshots, the limb-slicing, wall-climbing, book-collecting world of Dishonored comes highly recommended.
Well, it looks like it could be one to pick up. It became the #1 selling original IP of 2012, booting Sleeping Dogs off the chart. So break out that inner assassin in you and start seeking revenge as you slip-slide down the devilish descent into Dishonored. Okay, it's time for us to halt the assault as we take two, but stick around. Because up next, a look at an indie FPS MMO set to change the playing fields. And we take a look at some games about to explode in your console. Stay with us on Game. Choose your side, count your numbers, select your scenario, take aim. This is Ravaged. Back to Game. Those shots were from Ravaged, a brand new vehicular FPS MMO that will blow your mind. From the guys at the indie developer 2 Dawn. And it looks like it'll hit the sweet spot with players being able to take part in skirmishes with up to 64 players. That's a lot of players. It has just been launched, so epic battles await you. Now that's what you can play now, but what about games to come? Here's a look in our proverbial crystal ball that has a penchant for just blowing itself to smithereens in anticipation. It's The Big Bang.
Opening this week's edition of The Bang, we begin with a whimsical tale of woe from the guys at Sony's Japan studio. A title designed to awaken the imagination of all children. Feast your eyes on The Puppeteer, telling the tale of Kutaro, a young puppet who gets mixed up with all the wrong sorts.
Are you the new boy?
Explore a theater of the strange and fantastic in this wonderfully inspired adventure.
Your soul was summoned here at my behest. Kutaro, will you be my friend?
kidnapped by a tyrant king who turns little children into wooden slaves, use your magic enchanted scissors for some extreme theater makeover as you run, jump, and snip your way to freedom. A big tip of the hat to the works of Tim Burton and Terry Gilliam. If you like your games steeped in fantasy, look out for the giant tigers and flying witches of the puppeteer, due out sometime next year. Moving on, from blood velvet curtains to blood in the sand, because for our second act, we turn to the theater of war. A war fueled by cocaína in Army of Two, the Devil's Cartel.
Maybe you didn't get the message. This is my Mexico, amigos. Stay away.
Set in Mexico, the game follows leading lads Alpha and Bravo, operatives of a private military corporation tasked with completing a dangerous mission in the midst of a violent drug war. Showcasing some of the gameplay fans can expect, this new trailer sees our mates gunning down enemies from above and some good old-fashioned fire in the hole. Not a whole lot of innovation as far as changing up the world of third-person shooters, but with EA's fantastic Frostbite 2 engine powering the whole experience, we can at least expect great visuals, not to mention a host of destructible environments. Coming to us from developers Visceral Games, the same guys behind EA's Dead Space, Army of Two, the Devil's Cartel hits the shelves in March next year. And finally, to close out our look at the top titles soon to be rocking the game shops, is the return of some classic hack and slash action with the guys at Ninja Theory. The spotlight's back on Dante in DMC, Devil May Cry. In this latest bit of footage, we get a better sense of the scale of the environment as we quick-footed around Limbo City, a mysterious outer world where demons reveal their true form. Now, as far as gameplay goes, the reboot looks pretty much up to form, with all the fast-paced, combo-heavy gameplay that some of us remember from the older games. Also, in addition to his multiple attack styles, Dante has the ability to switch between weapons during a fight, leading to some extremely stylish monster mashing. Initially announced all the way back in 2010, expectations are pretty high, so let's hope that the new DMC lives up to all the hype when it hits in January next year.
A refreshing reboot seen there in this remodeled Dante. Now they're hoping to target a younger demographic with this one, but I'm pretty sure that fans of the previous editions will be equally enthralled. All right, break time again, but chill, we'll be back in 2. There's more to come as the Autobots and Decepticons duke it out for control of your browser. And more kick-ass soundtracks as we go backstage with Forza Horizon. That's up next on Game. In 2013, prepare to take part in a battle between good and evil. Take your stand as you fight for control of the internet in your browser. How awesome is that? Saving or destroying the universe in the comfort of your browser. You better make sure that connection is solid and secure by the time that one comes around next year. Now, one game that we won't have to wait till next year for is the latest addition in the Forza franchise. Forza Horizon hit the game community in a big way, with hot girls and even hotter cars on display at E3. And really, it was just real life mimicking what we can expect in this next installment. Curious? Well, let's find out more as we head inside Forza Horizon.
A franchise synonymous with top quality racing on consoles, the Forza games share a special place in the hearts of race fans the world over. From its early days out the door with 2005's Forza Motorsport, right up to last year's stunning fourth release on the Xbox 360, when it comes to burning rubber on some of the world's most infamous raceways, the guys at Turn 10 sure know what they're doing. This year, however, marks a new chapter for the franchise, with a brand new developer behind the wheel, taking the series in a fresh new direction. We caught up with the design director of Forza Horizon, Mr. Ralph Fulton, a man passionate about preserving the authenticity of this long-standing series.
Forza has always been about getting people excited about cars. That's it's been its vision from day one. But until now, the expression of that vision has been through track racing, precision, mastery, shaving tenths of a second off your lap time. Horizon is a different expression of that vision. The DNA is exactly the same, but what we've done is taken the action away from the racetrack and out into the open road where cars really belong. Quite simply, is you can go wherever you want, you can drive wherever you want and play the game how you want to play it. Freedom and that sense of discovery is something that we always wanted to nail with this game, and the fact that we have hundreds of miles of road for you to discover really allows the player to do that.
Set in a brand new playground with miles and miles of road just waiting to be discovered, things are definitely bigger this time around. But with the switch from circuit racing to full-on open world, the environment now plays a bigger part than ever before, something the guys put a lot of effort into.
Well, first of all, we had to find a place that we wanted to set the game. Colorado in the United States is the place that we decided upon. And after that, we had to send some artists out for weeks and weeks to research the place from top to bottom. And they spent a lot of time on the road taking photographs and videos to make sure that we could recreate Colorado authentically, realistically. But then from that point, we needed to create a Colorado which worked for the game, that was great to drive on wherever you went. So there was a huge design phase then to make sure that all the roads in the game lived up to the Forza ideal.
Now with Horizon billed as more of a spin-off on the Forza franchise rather than a straight-out sequel, one of the new game ideas which got us pretty interested was the addition of player hubs, built around the idea of an all-out party in the desert.
It's the centerpiece for our game. We imagined a place that was part auto show, part race meet, part summer music festival. We were thinking of places like Coachella in the United States or Festival in the UK. And that marriage of these three disparate elements really made sense to us. It made sense as a place where you would go with your car and with your friends and really have fun and show off. And it's the place to which you'll return time and time again to update your career, to paint your car, upgrade your car, join car clubs. Everything comes back to the Horizon Festival, and it's a place you'll keep going back to. The Forza franchise has led the way in making an accessible experience. You know, anyone can pick up and play Forza 4. That's something we really wanted to carry over into Forza Horizon. So, yes, our game is authentic. We spent a lot of time making sure that our cars are perfectly modelled. We spent a lot of time in Colorado making sure we were recreating it authentically. But equally, this game is about having fun. We want you to be able to pick it up and play it immediately. So balancing the two is really important to us.
So, we've got the award-winning control from the Forza games, paired with the beautiful, scenic Colorado mountains disappearing in your rearview mirror. So far, so good, but one feature which really piqued our interest was night racing, as the series turns down the dimmers for the first time ever in the Forza franchise.
It's an open world game, so we have a dynamic day-night cycle. That means you'll be driving during the day, but for the first time in the Forza franchise, you'll be driving at night as well. And the Colorado setting means that we can introduce another Forza first. Off-road racing. Dirt roads, gravel paths, they all come into play, and that's a completely new experience for the Forza fans, something I think they've been crying out for.
Attending festivals, collecting wristbands and cruising around in awesome cars, now that is the life. Oh well, time for us to head back to reality as we wrap up the show. But remember, relive the experience of game on our website at espnstar.com/game. Or you can check us out on Facebook, that's at facebook.com/ESSGame. Or you can even tweet us. We try to respond to as many of you as possible, and that's at ESSGame. Till next week, guys, we'll see you online.